Good morning, good evening, good night, wherever you are in this beautiful planet of ours. It is I, Mike Martins, your housing discussion guru, bringing discussion forward on the housing market. Trends in the housing market is what we call ourselves here, the trends in the housing market. And I want to thank everybody for contributing to this cause, whether you're commenting in the comment section, watching our videos and whatnot. And when I say "our," I mean "our," because without you guys, I don't exist. So there's no me here. It's us. You know, whether it's negative criticism, positive criticism, contributed. It's all good. It's all good. Don't you worry. It all adds up in the end. Mike Martins here, broadcasting from Merritt, British Columbia, and it is a beautiful, beautiful, crisp night we're having here. And I hope everybody had a really good, is having a great week. Today is hump day here. The date today is the 8th of November, 2018 for most of the world. And it's still 7th of November here for a couple of more hours on my end. And I want to thank everybody for, again, contributing to the tip jar. It's awesome. Thanks for contributing. Dan, okay, so we got people coming in from the comment section here. We got Dan Grant watching from Melbourne, and we got Anon here. Hi, and Gary Medeiros, I think from Toronto, Ontario, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure. Maybe Mississauga, not too sure. But guys, if you want to be on the show, don't forget to add me on Skype. It's Mike Martins, MikeMartins, 1980. If you have a housing story you want to share with us, don't be shy. Add me on Skype, and we'll have you on the show, and we'll talk about what's going on. Gary Medeiros is from Toronto. That's correct. Belinda, my girl down in Florida. She's saying, hey, it's getting quiet here. Glad you're on. Down in Florida, watching. Everyone keeping eyes out for trends in the housing market, contributing to, like I said, everyone contributes to us here. And when I say us, there's no team, it's us, it's all of us. I don't exist without you guys, period. So, and without you guys seeing the show doesn't exist. So, I want to thank everyone for joining. And, okay guys, I'm going to have to throw this out there first because it's a really good one. Foreign buyers tax may become a reality in Montreal as housing market beats Toronto and Vancouver. Guys, it's happening. See, it happened in Vancouver. They put the foreign buyers tax. It happened in Toronto. They put the foreign buyers tax. And now it's happening north in Montreal, north of Toronto. And see what's happening, guys. See? You see? Everyone's saying, well, it's Mike. It's not the foreign buyers that's doing this. Then who is it? Why is it that they implement the foreign buyers tax in Vancouver? Everyone either went to Seattle or Toronto. Then when they implemented the foreign buyers tax in Toronto, everyone went to Buffalo, and then they either went north to Montreal and Ottawa and stuff like that. And Quebec, Quebec's the province of Quebec, right? So what's going on here? Do we really want to be like Toronto? That's a really good kickoff on the question right there. That's the question on the minds of Montrealers these days when they take a look at what's going on in their city's housing market. One, that Canada's Mortgage Housing Corp CMHC said the summer is close to overheating, which Toronto slowly emerged from a real estate slump has bitten into price and slaves over the past year and a half. Vancouver's housing market in the dumps. Montreal is emerging as the country's hottest major city housing market. So I got somebody on over here in the comments sometimes that comments from Montreal, and had him on the show. And he was telling me that, yeah, it's out of control there and people are bidding on homes. And, okay, home sales in the city jumped 11% in October. The same month a year earlier, the city's real estate board reported on Wednesday the condo segment, which is today's date, by the way, it's today's article, segment was particularly strong with sales up 22% in a year. Compare that with Toronto, where October sales were up the modest 6%. After the city saw a slump in the first year, In Vancouver, October sales were down 34.9% from a year earlier. Montreal condo market has moved from a buyer's market to a seller's market in just 1 year, President of the Board of Directors of Greater Montreal said in a statement. And while some homeowners may enjoy the boost into their wealth, remember guys, it's on paper boost. You're only worth what you are. It's only worth what you could sell it for, right? And right now, it is a seller's market in Montreal. With wealth prospects of Toronto following Toronto and Vancouver's footsteps to million-dollar bungalows and $500,000 condos is alarming to many in the city that has a long focused on home affordability as a priority. Economists cite that the number of reasons for the city's housing boom, particularly Quebec's strong economy over the past few years, which has seen the province's unemployment rate hit record lows this last year and last while wage growth accelerated. But the political narrative forming around the phenomena is focusing on one thing: foreign buyers. Much has been said about Montreal about the influx of Parisians into the city's trendy and increasingly pricey Plateau Montreal neighborhood, but the focus has shifted to Chinese buyers. Faced with the new taxes in the Toronto-Vancouver region, foreign buyers have turned their attention to Montreal, which Chinese real estate portal Jiawei this summer said that the hottest city in Canada for Chinese real estate investors. The number of homes sold to Chinese buyers jumped 64.5%! Woo! In the past year, according to CMHC, cited La Presse, the comparison home sold French and U.S. national declined by 17% and 14% in the same period, respectively. Montrealers must be able to own in their own city. Good luck with that in the next 6 months, Montrealers. Since the beginning of a year ago, growth has come almost exclusively from non-resident buyers from China. Mayor Valerie Plalante's press secretary noted last month, with the overall share of homes sold to foreign buyers in Greater Montreal remains low, below 2%, according to CMHC, and the similar scale to Toronto and Vancouver today. The downtown Montreal 1 in 8 condos are now sold to foreign, according to recent CMHC number. So 1 in 8 will be left empty, completely empty. So that's going to be a shortage and create artificial bubbles. And that's what's going on right here. Mayor Valerie Plante doesn't want to wait to see if the city is headed for a Toronto-style affordability crisis. She has reiterated her call for foreign buyers tax to be implemented along with the lines of the ones in the Toronto and Vancouver regions. Her party, Project Montreal, first proposed such a tax in the spring of 2017. We want the power to do this in time, Plante said last week, quoted by TVA. And that's what I was saying. Once they implemented that foreign buyers tax in Vancouver like 2 years ago, I said everybody went to Toronto. And that article's there that I read 2.5 or 2 years ago and change. That article's still up that I read. It's still there on YouTube. You can go on my channel and see it. Everybody ran over to Toronto or Seattle, south of us. Like in BC and Ontario, the city doesn't even have the power to implement such a tax, so policymakers have to convince the province to make the tax a reality. City officials will soon be meeting with Quebec's finance minister to discuss the issue, of Radio-Canada reported. The ministry says it is preparing an assessment to determine whether the action is even needed. Even the local real estate developers is calling for restrictions on foreign buyers. We must avoid at all costs this happening in Vancouver and Toronto, where 90% of the projects are sold to investors. Radio-Canada quoted Laurence Vincente, co-president of real estate developer, as saying Montrealans should be able to own in their own city. So you see what's happening? Montreal saw what's happening here. Montreal saw and has been watching. Montreal's not asleep. They've been watching what's been happening. They've been taking notes, and they said, watch the wave come to us. The tsunami is going to hit Montreal eventually. It left Vancouver straight to Toronto, bypassed all the other cities in the middle of Canada. But not everyone agrees that there is a problem and that needs solving. Some insiders point out that the housing in Montreal is still much more affordable than Toronto in October was $329. So what are you going to do? Make it unaffordable? What's the point? What? Okay, let's make it unaffordable, then we'll do something about it. Compared to an average price of $1 million and $19 million in Greater Toronto, the benchmark is still a price of $1.52 million in Greater Vancouver. Simon Ledger, head of Montreal. See, guys, and I've been pushing this for so long. Okay, guys, with the amount of taxes, the price of food, the price of gasoline, the price of natural gas, the price of heating, all this crap, the average person, the average family with the average income of about $800,000 a year could only afford $300,000, 80 to 120, 80 to 95,000 a year gross, could only afford $350,000 mortgage. That right now is still an affordability level, so people could afford to live a normal life. Price growth is not enough, but the pace of maintain it doubles after a year. Then we need some measures. Radio Canada quoted as him saying. So that's the article right there, guys. Guys, Montreal, open your eyes, watch my past shows going back for the last 3-4 years and see what has happened in Montreal, in the city of Montreal, aka province of Quebec. Okay, let's check out what's going on in the comments here. Okay, we did it here in Australia too. 8% surcharge on stamp duty for foreign buyers in Australia and can't buy established properties. Okay. Then I is saying, E3 Lade saying, how many here are waiting on the sidelines? So, person's asking, who's waiting on the sidelines just to see what's going on? Anon says, 8% isn't enough deterrent to knock down the old homes and build cookie-cutter apartment blocks. That's true. Justin Peters says, hi, Mike. Checking in, Mike. Daniel O'Brien. And we got Dan Grant. Anon seems to be working so far. Chinese are leaving en masse. Yeah, a lot of foreign investors in Australia are leaving in huge droves. So, and New Zealand, too. Double A says, realtors are trying all they can to keep prices high, but now because their action of pricing collapse will happen more rapidly even when it happens. Then someone says, Anon, sounds like they're all heading to Montreal. And then Anon says, leaving apartment blocks mostly vacant. That's what's happening, yeah. Then Belinda Mercer says, something big is going on. Then Daniel O'Brien says, San Diego and LA Bay County houses, price drops big time. I think they are dumping the ghost houses right now. So what's happening is, guys, I'm having such a hard time getting information for California. When I type in California housing in the news, California housing price slump, California housing prices, or California, I'm having no luck. So if you're down in San Diego and stuff, please add me on Skype, Mike Martins 1980. I like to have you on the show live to find out what's going on. Because I can't find anything happening in California in any news sector. And I don't know why they're keeping it a secret. So this is it. Foreign buyers. Tax may become a reality in Montreal as housing market beats Toronto and Vancouver. And it's out of control, out of control. Canadian real estate sales likely to drop further as money grows slower. So guys, if people cannot obtain the financing, they cannot buy. Plain and simple. If they rejected financing with the stress testing and they rejected financing with all the new measures into place, it's not going to happen, guys. So Canada's being confronted with higher interest rates and it's really turning into a drag on growth. Bank of Canada BOC numbers show the M1 Plus, a board of measure of money, is seeing significantly lower growth this year. The slowing growth is a sign of economic slowdown, often results in slowing sales of assets that require large financing like a house or a car. So the M1, I'll explain to you guys what it is. The M1 is Canada's monetary aggregates, and it covers most liquid from money to the Bank of Canada, including currency outside the banks, plus checkable deposits held in chartered banks, trust and mortgage loan companies, and credit unions. If you could spend it with little notice, it's included in here. It's actually very useful indicator, but rarely talked about outside the top and monocle crown. The BOC's job is to manage the growth of rate money indirectly, and this is one of the measures they're managing. When the Bank of Canada raises rate, it costs more to borrow. The result is less borrowing and more money used to service existing debt. This leads to a decline in the amount of cash in bank accounts, which shows up in the M1 Plus, and the deleverage and get their finances under control, they stop spending as much. This gives us slowing economy and starts the end of the business cycle. So price growth since 2003. Here it is here. So this is the 12-month percentage change of Canada's M+1. So it's stagnating. It's going to go back to the 1994, 95, late 95 levels here. And this is our last recession right here. And then there's our other recession here back in the early 90s. This is annualized, and the change is annualized. Rising interest rates are doing what they should be doing, slowing down the rate of money. The Bank of Canada notes that slowing M+1 growth is a sign of slowing economy, which could be the problem. Things may seem hot on paper, but we're starting to see much slower cash growth. The impact is the first felt in assets that need a large down payment and financing like cars and homes. So you're going to start to see less home selling and less cars and big assets selling like boats and planes. It's because people can't secure the financing anymore. It's going to be harder to borrow, right? Okay, so Dan Grant is in the comment section saying, I sold 12 months ago, now renting, waiting for prices to go drop further before I jump back in, thinking 12 to 18 months. That's a very conservative thought. 12 to 18 months is a very conservative window. I think that's right. A lot of people are like, oh, maybe next month. No. Okay, here we go. We got some common sense in a lot of common sense tonight in the comment section. Rashid Farrar says, I bought my house 17 years ago for $240,000. Today it's worth $1.2 million. I do not care if it goes down 20%, nor I am not selling any housing is not a commodity. Housing is shelter to live. Thank you. That's exactly what it is. It's a place to live, raise family, and lay roots. Work from home, other things. There's so much you could do with the house. Everyone's thinking of it as a business perspective. Someone's saying, when will interest rates go back down? Oh, it won't be for a while. This downturn will go on for years. Oh, it could go on for a good 10 years. You're looking at a good 10 years. Because they're stagnating everything as much as possible, right? Everything's becoming stagnated. Canadian banks raise borrowing rates to the highest levels since the Great Recession. Oh yeah, that's how bad it's getting. Canadians are facing the most expensive credit in almost a decade. Bank of Canada, the numbers show households are seeing the effective borrowing rate creep higher. The rate, which impacts how much consumers can borrow, is now at the highest level since the Great Recession. Effective borrowing. The great effective borrowing rate is way to gauge how expensive credit is for households. It's a weighted index of both consumer and mortgage rates, and uses both posted and discount rates. Analysts use the system like this to get an idea of how real-world conditions impact borrowers. This is a really good article here. The posted 5-year fixed rate bank economists use is fine, but the people with good credit almost never pay that rate. Today, we'll be looking at the pain of actual consumers are feeling. Don't worry, it's not all complicated once the numbers are crunched. Canada's effective borrowing rate reached the highest level since 2009. Canadians are feeling the pressure and higher rates, reducing credit consumption. The effective borrowing rate reached 3.91% on October 26, an increase of 2.62% from a week before. Yeah, the week before. Compared to the same week last year, consumers are looking at an increase of 14%. That's right, and almost a fifth of the reduction over the past year was last week. Canadian household borrowing rate. Oh, God, we've been talking about this every week. It's happening in Australia, the UK, New Zealand, the United States of America. They've been using their houses as ATM machines and borrowing on their homes. And borrowing rate is they're using it to keep afloat. Canadian households have seen their assets to credits whittled away since last year. The current rate is up 30.33% compared to the bottom, which we hit in 2016. The effective rate last hit this level in March 2009, almost a decade ago. Borrowers literally haven't felt this level of rates since the Great Recession. WTF are you going to do? What are you on about? And why do I care? So WTF is important, guys, because here it is. Data points like this are abstract to the average consumer. So let's work through the examples. Today's effective rate, if it were used for mortgages, means that you would qualify for 1.2% less of last week compared to last year. The borrower would be looking at 5.7% reduction on the maximum size of their mortgage from the all-time low achieved in July 2016. It's about 11.04% lower today. Buyers are looking significantly less buying power than those over the past couple of years, since the full impact of interest rate hikes takes about 6 to 12 months to be felt. It's being felt a week after, a month after, especially with people refinancing their mortgages, right? The last hike will push the rate even higher. Borrowing rates influenced by the price of assets. Real investors, not negative cash flow speculators, should watch this number very closely. Expanding credit allows borrowers to absorb higher asset prices with greater ease. Do you want to guess what the shrinking credit capacity does? So here's the deal, guys. Shrinking rate capacity goes down, but the price of things go down with it. So the price of housing goes down. Oh, I could borrow less. Hey, don't worry, John, but the house is 40% less than what it was 2 years ago. Oh, makes sense now. So this is what's going to be happening. People are going to be noticing. They're going to be noticing this. And it's going to start making a lot of sense. Well, oh man, I could only borrow $490,000 now. 2 years ago, I could borrow $1.2 million. But you know what? You will find something for $490 because everything fits macroly. It's a macro puzzle. Everything just starts to fix economic-wise and start fitting into the puzzle. You know what I'm saying? So let's move on to the next article, guys. Vancouver real estate sales hit 6-year low. Inventory rises to a 4-year October high. Again, too much product being thrown on the market in the city of Vancouver. It's out of control, guys. Everybody wants out. A lot of the ghost properties or vacant homes or investment homes now with the vacant home tax is hitting people's pocketbooks, so they want to unload their assets and sell, sell, sell. Vancouver real estate continue its mild slump. Real Estate Board of Vancouver numbers show slowing demand in October. Home sales in the region hit a 6-year low while inventory reached a 4-year high in the month. Greater Vancouver real estate prices are just up 1%. The price of a typical home across Greater Vancouver is up, but you maybe not be for long. REBGV reported the composite benchmark reached $1,062,000, down 3% over the past 3 months. Prices are now 1% higher in the same month last year. That's nothing, guys. With prices turning negative in the city of Vancouver, the actual benchmark price is below peak, but not all that far. Greater Vancouver composite bench price. Here it is. Here, guys. Here it is there. So here it is. The change for benchmark might have sellers breaking a light sweat. The annual 1% is below inflation and smaller than the month before. The benchmark is now seeing price growth decelerate since February, rising in February and lighter sales likely to continue the trend in the near term. Wow, look at this, guys. Wow. Greater Vancouver real estate sales are below 10-year average. Sales in Vancouver real estate continued to slow down. REBGV reported in 1,966 homes sales in October, a 23.3% increase from the month before compared to the same month last year. Sales are down 34.9%, and the board itself noted October 2018, a 26.8% lower than the year average from the month. Some news sources reported a potential signs of recovery. What are they smoking? October jump is normal, annual drop is not. So here's the listings, and here are sales. Look at that. They're just completely, one's on the ground on a motorcycle or a Jeep, and then the other one's flying up high. So there's listings to sales. See, Australia needs a better dwelling. Australia needs a better dwelling. New Zealand needs a better dwelling to write these kind of articles. This makes it so much easier to dissect and understand. So does, the UK needs something like this that actually tells you what's going on. Greater Vancouver real estate listings jump over 42%. The number of active listings in Greater Vancouver real estate saw big increases. RBGV reported that 12,984 active listings in October, a decrease from 0.8% from the month before. Even with those decreases, the active listings are up 42.1% compared to last year. The board noted that the listings are now 4-year high. High inventory and lower sales help draw these sales to active listings ratio, SALR, even lower. The composite market SALR 15.1% to 33.1% last year. Generally speaking, prices rise with SALR above 20 points and a fall with it's below 12%. The market technically balanced at this point. So it's balanced at this point. Vancouver real estate is starting to return closer to normal, but will it stop there? Sales at a multi-year lows and inventory at multi-year highs. For October, usually markets tend to balance a binge with a purge. Although the narrative that the binge is followed by normalization is totally adorable. So that's it right there from Better Dwelling. There you go, guys. Sales to listings. Most important part of this article right here. You can't lie. You can't lie with math. Anon saying it takes over 6+ months for data to get released in Australia. Also, you have to become a certified agent to get access. Wow, what a bunch of crap. This should be public record to everybody because everybody needs to know where they're putting their money in. Housing is the most important. I have a whole show dedicated to housing because it's the most important asset you'll ever own in your life, or one of the most expensive positions you'll ever make is buying a home. So let's move on. Let's move on. This week's top story is Canada mortgage growth is slowing down in every way except reverse mortgages. So, reverse mortgage, second mortgages and stuff, everybody's HELOCs, they're borrowing off that, and that's going up. So people are borrowing from their homes like ATM machines so they could keep that lifestyle afloat. That's just an illusion. And that's the problem we're facing here. All right, here it is. This week's story, top stories. Here it goes, people. Canadian real estate. Canadian mortgage growth falls to the lowest since the dot-com crash. Canadian reverse mortgage debt rises over 42% and begins to decelerate. Canadian household credit growth falls to levels not seen since 1983. 1983, they had cassette recorders and Walkmans. Holy smokes, that was so long ago. 1983, I don't think ALF was out. I think ALF was out in 84 or 85. Wow, that was Canadian household growth falls to levels seen in 1983. The U.S. Fed still sees exuberance in Canadian real estate buyers. Insured mortgages on Canadian real estate are dropping at a faster rate ever. So I covered that last story last week. So Dan Grant saying, Rainier Mole, Chinese targeting Montreal, raising prices. Yep. Guys, first article I read. So go back to the first article. It's right here. Foreign buyers tax may become a reality in Montreal as housing market beats Toronto and Vancouver. So let's move on. Victoria. Victoria, guys, is an island. West of Vancouver. It's a big island actually, and construction is going down, cooling down. Construction layoffs are happening there right now because the cost of living in Victoria skyrocketed in the last 8 months, sorry. And people left the big city of Vancouver to move to Victoria and manipulated the pricing there. Same thing in Merritt, same like where I live in Merritt, same thing in Kelowna, same thing in Kamloops and the other bigger cities here in the province of British Columbia. People leaving the big city, and that's what's been happening. So Kevin Thompson's in the house, guys. Very important that we keep tabs on Kevin Thompson. Very important. Okay, Calgary's Olympic bid slashed. Affordable housing promise. 1,000 units cut from original proposal of 2,800. There you go. Posted today. So Calgary's going to see Olympic bid appear to be on the verge of flaming out. The bid corporation made some last night adjustments, or more specifically cuts to its budget, which eliminated 1,000 units from its original housing promise. The original host plan described by some as ambitious, even unrealistic, included 28 housing units, but it is whittled down to 1,800, and proposed Olympic Village in Victoria Park, where hundreds of units would have been built, is no longer on the table. So they want to actually make way. They want to make way for they want to remove the affordable housing in the Olympic and create an Olympic Village for Calgary's Olympics. They're bidding for when's the Olympics? I don't even know what year it is. Calgary's 2026 bid for the Olympics. So they're not going ahead with the affordable housing that they promised people, so they could see if they could get an Olympic Village there instead and get the Olympics in Calgary. Lord Humongous in the comments section. Kevin Thompson, real estate agent guy. So that's what's happening, guys. Really sad story. Calgary is pushing affordable housing out the window to make Olympic Village for their bid for the Olympics for 2020. What was it, 2026? 2026. So that's heartbreaking for people that are, having a really tough time in Alberta. And Toronto home prices climb in October as condo semi-detached houses edge higher. So guys, this is fake news, Financial Post. So this is always taking the retailer side. I just wanted to throw this out there. It says here that the housing market in Canada's biggest city is recovering after a slowdown earlier this year, sparked by tougher mortgage qualification rules that look on effective January 1st. The rise in mortgage costs, board president Gary said at the report, the recent sales declines and much smaller than the start of the year as the rule changes made it tougher to borrow for a home. So there is some evidence in the market could be tightening. A lack of supply remains the problem. No. There's no lack of supply. There's an oversupply in Toronto. There's a massive oversupply all over North America. So this is just the real estate propping it. So guys, be very careful when you're reading articles to find out what is fake and what is real. Do your due diligence and do your own research, people. So Anon saying Olympic cities are such a waste of money. They look at prior areas, rundown wastelands. Yeah, that's what's happened. That's what's happened with this whole Olympic crap. I don't mind the Olympics, but it doesn't have to be such a. They don't have to prop it up as a spectacle. We're in 2018 now. We know the Olympics are on. We know if we want to go see it. We don't need fancy stadiums to go see everything. We don't need cities to build infrastructure for us to go there. There's already infrastructure in these cities. Let's move on. So, watch out for the fake news, guys. Little relief in sight for Toronto area home buyers looking for a break. There is little relief on the horizon for Toronto area tenants or for home buyers seeking a house with a yard for cookouts for kids, according to the country's national housing agency. In fact, despite the political teeth gnashing about the high prices and short supply of housing. The region's shelter situation isn't expected to change much in the upcoming 2 years, says the Canada Mortgage Housing Corporation in its 2-year housing market outlook. So again, CMHC and all these companies are getting together and putting up a few articles to massage the clients. Guys, if you're living in Toronto, I know what's happening there. We'll see if we get Steve the plumber on later if he's around. Yeah, JP Morgan just got popped for silver manipulation, says Lord Humongous. But guys, you know what? I'm going to be really frank with you guys. Silver is severely underrated. We're going to do a whole silver show. I'm going to show you a little bit of silver stacking that I've done, a couple of bars that I've purchased and stuff, what to look for when buying silver and buying gold and stuff. Yeah, there's a lot you got to, take in when you're stacking this kind of stuff. So if someone sent me this, here's how much you'll have to spend to buy a house in Brampton. So Brampton is sitting at right now $807,000 outside of Toronto, 30-minute drive outside Toronto, and a lot of people want to live in cities as of Brampton. Oakville is a little pricey, but Mississauga, Scarborough, they want to get out of the GTA. They want to get into the GTA. And this is what's happening. They want to get into the greater Toronto area. They don't want to be in Toronto proper because it's way too expensive. So the price of housing is still on the binge there in cities like Brampton. So right now you're looking at $807,000 to pick up a house in the Brampton area. So I wanted to bring that up for you guys. Okay, so I've already covered this a quadrillion times, but this is today's article, and sometimes things do change. So let's head over to the United States of America, which states have seen house prices rise since the real estate bubble burst back in 2008, if you guys remember that. So let's see if it actually shows here, or you have to read the whole thing. Okay, number 52, Nevada. So guys, Nevada right now is seeing huge levels, and we've discussed Nevada thoroughly. We've discussed Reno. We've discussed Las Vegas. We've discussed other little intercities in between the two major cities of what's been happening. So number 52 is Nevada. Median value in 2017 was $258. And now median value in 2007 was $311. So the percentage point change is 17.1%. And this is why Nevada is becoming a magnet to people from exodusing California and people exodusing Oregon and people making an exodus from Washington State. So those cities, all those cities along the coast, from Vancouver, where I left because it was unaffordable, well, north of Vancouver, to North Vancouver, I would say maybe further north up into Whistler, all the way down to San Diego, Tijuana border, Mexico, is completely bought out. So a lot of people are having a really tough time making ends meet in those areas. So and I've been saying the same thing over and over and over and over. And I think it's important that I get my message across, right? So Lord Humongous says, I got my house up for $399,000 in Denver. Very affordable. And then someone's saying here, in Sydney, we have a mortgage stress around $1 million and above, heavily debt. They can't spend their equity as an ATM machine, and now they're facing negative equity because the property not going up anymore, and that's in Sydney, Australia. So here we go. So Nevada, number 52. Number 51, Rhode Island. I've been to Providence many times. I love Rhode Island. It's the live free or die state. Live free or die. Or is that New Hampshire? That's New Hampshire, right? Yeah. Oh, Rhode Island's the ocean state, and live free or die is New Hampshire. Sorry. Rhode Island, number 51. Median house value is $257,000 in 2017. And the median house value in 2007 during the crash was $292. So percentage point of negative 12%. So a lot of these homes are starting to get to that level where they crashed originally in 2007. Number 50, Connecticut. Median house value in 2017, $273,000. And in 2007, 309. Negative percentage points of 11.7%. So they're gripping. They're moving to unaffordability levels. New Jersey. Median house value in New Jersey is $334,000. And median house value in New Jersey in 2007 was $372,000. It's down by 10% of the crash in 2017. So it's, like I said, everything's starting to creep up. Maryland. Maryland is starting to see signs of unaffordability too. Maryland. Maryland, number 48. Median house value in 2017, $312,500. And the median house value in 2007 was $347,000, an aggregate change of 9.9%. Number 47, Florida. See, the median house price in 2017 in Florida is $214,000. That's why I bring up Florida all the time in the housing show, because I actually live there, so I know what you're buying there, right? Median house value in 2007, $230,000. It is down 7.1% from the crash. Illinois. Median house value in 2017, $195,300. And the median house value in 2007 is $208,000. Again, you are 6.5% aggregated negative average of what the crash was. So this is a really good bubble chart here. Number 45, Arizona. Arizona is getting out of control with the mass exodus of Californians moving out. Median house value in 2017, $223,400. Median house value in 2007, $237,000, an aggregate change of negative 6%. So they're reaching unaffordability levels also. And with interest rates going up, it's going to be hard. California, median house value in 2017, $509,000. Median house value in 2007, $532,000. A percentage aggregate change of 4.3% negative. So it's reaching unaffordability. Mass unaffordability, actually. New Hampshire, live free or die. Median house value in 2017, $263,600. Median house value in 2007, $261,000. A percentage change of 0.7%. So it looks like people that bought and held in 2007, house values are back to where they were. So if you bought and held from 2007 and you didn't file for bankruptcy and you kept your home, you would be back at par right now in 2017. New York. Median house price in 2017 was $314,500. Median house value in 2007 was $311,000. A price change of positive 1.1%. So if you owned in 2007 and you held and you have now, you're up 1.1% right now. Michigan. House value in 2017, $155,700. Median house value 2007, $153,000. A percentage change of plus 1.7% in the state of Michigan. Virginia. Median house price in 2017, $273,400. Median house value in 2007, $262,000. A price change of positive 4.3%. So these now we're getting into territory of the housing markets that have fully recovered from the 2007 crash. Ohio, median average value 2017, $144,000 for the average home in Ohio. Median house value in 2007, $137,000, percentage change of 4.6%. So guys, $144,200 is the average price of a house. But when you get somebody from Sydney, or even in the interior of Australia, $144,000, that's nothing. But that's what the average house, because, you know, wages need to accommodate and everything, right? And let's keep moving. Minnesota, median house value in 2017, $224,000. Median house value in 2007, $213,600. Percentage change, 4.9% plus. So guys, you got to remember they get the benchmark price from every house minus trailers. And RVs. So what happens is they get every house and they get a benchmark price across the board, like a bell curve. They kind of meet at the middle and kind of see what the average price is across the board. Okay? Okay, here we go. Puerto Rico, median house value in 2017 is $109,000. Median house value in 2007, $104,000. A percentage change of plus 5.2%. That's Puerto Rico. Massachusetts, median house value in 2017 is $385,400. It's severely unaffordable right now in Massachusetts. Median house value in 2007, $366,400, a percentage change of 5.2% plus. Delaware, median house value in 2017, $252,800. Median house value in 2007, $239,700, a percentage change of 5.5%. And a lot of people are starting to feel the pinch in Delaware with rentals. I've got messages from people from there too. Georgia. Oh, I love Georgia. Georgia. I got $50, guys. Georgia. I love Georgia. I love the South. Oh. Median house value in 2017, $173,700. Median house value in 2007, $164,000. Price is up 5.6% since 2007. I've been to Georgia so many times, I've never seen snow. Ever. I've been to Atlanta. I've been to... okay. Wisconsin, number 33. Median house value in 2017, $178,000. Median house value in 2007, $168,000. Percentage point, 6% increase in housing. Again, a lot of rental issues. People with rental issues because the price of rentals are going up. Number 32, Maine. Oh, I love Maine. Median house value in 2017, $191,200. Median house value in 2007, $176,000. Percentage change, 8.6%. So if people, like, especially like people with families and stuff that weren't buying houses for the average person that had their house and had families and didn't buy it for, they didn't buy their homes for resale. They just bought it to lay roots. If they had their house in 2007 in Maine, and they held on, and they still their house is worth $20,000, $30,000 more. So you got to hold off, right? But the problem with cities like Vancouver, Sydney, and what's boggled my mind for the last 10 years is it's not that the median average price is $200,000-$300,000 like we're seeing here. The median average price is $1 million. That's the problem. When are they going to go back to $1 million in 2056? The year 2056? The year 2060? Vermont. Median house price in 2017, $226,300. Median house value in 2007, $205,000. A percentage change, 10.2%. So if you bought at the crash, when it crashed, if you bought during the crash, and you picked up and you sold now, you'd have a profit of $26,300. That's normal. You see? Everybody's getting these 3% every quarter, 3% a quarter, 3% a quarter. What the hell? In cities like Vancouver and stuff. New Mexico, median house value 2017, $171,300. Median house value in 2007, $155,400. A percentage change, they're up 10.2%. Okay, let's continue. We're almost there. Number 29, Hawaii. The average house value in 2017 in Hawaii, $617,000. We just crossed the border, people, to somewhere else. Median house value in 2007, $555,400. A percentage change of 11.2%. Washington. And I think this is Washington as in... Washington from where I am here, south of the border of me. Washington State, median house value, $339,000. And median house value in 2007, $300,000. Percentage change of 12.7%. Missouri. House value in 2017, $156,000. Median house value in 2007, $138,000. A percentage change of 13.1%. And a lot of people moved to St. Louis and parts of Missouri, because a lot of Californians left and a lot of New Yorkers left New York because it got too expensive, and they all moved to Missouri. And that's what pushed up the prices there. Indiana, median house value in 2017, $141,000. Median house value in 2007, $122,000. A percentage change of 14.8%. Idaho, median house value in 2017, $207,100. Median house value in 2007, $178,000. A percentage change of 16.3%. So we're getting into the big gaps here. Pennsylvania, median house value in 2017, $181,200. Median house value in 2007, $155,000. A percentage change of 16.9%. North Carolina, average house value in 2017, $171,200. Median house value in 2007, $145,700. A percentage change of 17.5%. Alaska's been going up, people. Median house value in 2017, $273,100. Median house value in 2007, $231,300. A percentage change of 18.1%. Here we go, guys. We're getting into the top 20. Thanks for hanging in there. Here we go, guys. South Carolina. Median house price value in 2017, $161,800. Median house value in 2007, $133,900. A percentage change of 20.8%. Alabama, median house value 2017, $141,300. Median house value in 2007, $115,000. Percentage change of 22.2%. Kentucky, median house value in 2017, $141,000. Median house value in 2007, $114,300. A percentage change of 23.4%. Oregon's out of control right now. House value in 2017, $319,000. Right now in 2018, it's at $407,000 right now, $407,000 in Oregon. Median house values in 2007, $257,300. A percentage change of 24.1%. Kansas, a lot of Californians moving out there too, and New Yorkers, and people from from Providence and stuff. Median house value 2017, $150,000. Median house value in 2007, $121,000. A percentage change of 24.3%. Wyoming, median house price 2017 is $214,300, and a lot of complaints coming from Wyoming right now, with people complaining about the housing prices are getting out of control. Median house value in 2007, $172,300. And that's a percentage change of 24.4%. West Virginia. Median house price in West Virginia is $119,000. Median house value in 2007, $96,000. A percentage change of 24.8%. That's a quarter. That's a whole quarter right there. Old Miss, Mississippi, median house value, $120,000. Median house value in 2007, $96,000. Percentage change of 25.2%. Okay, we're down, guys. Thanks for Utah. Now, Utah is out of control right now. Salt Lake City, Utah. I've been talking about Utah, and it's out of control right now. I've been talking to people from there, like 2 different couples I've been talking to, and I'm going to try and get them on the show. Utah, number 13, median house value in 2017, $275,000. Median house value in 2007, $218,000, a percentage change of 25.8%. Iowa, median house value 2017, $149,100. Median house value in 2007, $117,900, a percentage change of 26.5%. There's a couple of comments in the section. I'm almost done here. I'll finish this. Arkansas is number 11. Average median home price $128,000. Median home value in 2007 $101,000. Percentage change of 27.2%. Nebraska, median house value 2017 $155,000. Median house value in 2007 $122,000. Percentage change of 27.5%. Tennessee, I've been there so many times. Median house value 2017 $167,500. Median house value in 2007 $138,000. Percentage change of 28.1%. Louisiana, Median house value in 2017, 162,500. Median house price in 2007, 126. Percentage change of 28%. Right now in Louisiana, a lot of people are feeling the pinch. A lot of people feeling the pinch in Louisiana right now. Number 7, Oklahoma. Median house price 137. Median house value in 2007, 103. A percentage change of 33.4%. DC, District of Columbia. Washington, D.C. Median house value in 2017, 607,200. Median house value in 2007, 450. A percentage change of 34.7%. Okay, here we go, guys. Top 5. Montana. Ooh, Montana is getting a good kick in the butt right now, too. A lot of Californians moving and Washingtonians moving out there. Median house price in Montana, 2017, 231,000. Median house value in 2007, 170,000. A percentage change of 36.1%. South Dakota. Median home value in 2017, 167,000. Median house value in 2007, 118,700. A percentage change of 41.2%. Texas. Ooh, Texas is getting... Median house value in Texas in 2017 is 172. Median house value in 2007 was 120,900. A percentage change of 42.2%. And the people at the bottom are having a really tough time. Colorado. Median house value in Colorado in 2017 was 348,900. Median house value in 2007 was 233,900. A percentage change of 49.2%. Lord Humongous is there. Lord Humongous is there. He could tell us 348,000 is the median home price. That's everybody's house, and he divided by how many homes there are, and you get a percentage of what the median benchmark value is. So it's up 49.2%. Number 1, North Dakota. Median house value 2017, 194,000. And median value in 2007, 106,800. A percentage change of 82.3%. That is enormous change since the crash. It's unheard of, but it's true. And that's what happened in Vancouver. So when you look at cities like that, the price 80,000 and then 107,000 change. What are you going to do with cities like Sydney, Melbourne, Vancouver, Toronto, London? What are they going to do with those $1 million bungalows? You know, or Dubai. Someone in the comment section. What do you do with those places? Whew. That's a really good article there. I'll leave it up just for. Okay, let's hit the comments, guys. Sorry, I've been avoiding you guys for a while here. Mario, the Lost Canuck, in the comment section. And everybody in the comment section. Daniel Bryan says, Russ was saying that today that people migrating from highly taxed states to other states are destroying the states they are moving to with their liberal values and unaware of what wrecked their state. Exactly. It's this liberalism disease that's going around. It's detrimental to like, these people watch The View. They actually watch The View, the TV show. And they actually watch it and believe what they're seeing there. The people that are on The View don't have a historic lens of what's going on, financial lens. So they don't have a financial lens of financially how everybody is feeling, or everybody what they could spend as a family. You know what I'm saying? And yes, I do get a bit off topic because I'm non-scripted. Really good one. So Seattle housing market simmers down. Okay, there's no audio on this thing. There's no audio on this. I think I'm blocked from their audio. So Seattle market's dipping. How scarce is housing in Seattle? No, it's not. Seattle has an oversupply of housing. There's a lot of ghost cities there. I got somebody on assignment for me down there that's putting together something for me to show me basically what is happening in Seattle, how there's a mass oversupply and there's a lot of empty units owned by investors that now they're trying to offload, right? I wonder if Mario wants to call in. I don't see Steve the plumber there. If anybody wants to join, chat, and discuss housing on their area, I would like to know. Just checking my stuff here. Just looking over. Just seeing what's available. Who's available. Sacramento B. Supporters Proposition 10. Bailout initiative. Loosen California's limits to local rent controls. Rent control measure failed. Here's how California can fix its housing crisis. California's been like this for the last 10 years. And it's seeing that there's too much government involved. And then when there's too much government involved, it slows things down. So they're not moving anywhere right now in... nothing's going anywhere right now in California. So California is going to be a lost cause for, I think, for another 10 to 15 years until things change there, because it's an absolute lost cause. So is Oregon, and so is Washington State. Solving California's housing crisis again. More private development isn't enough to solve California's massive housing crisis. We have to break the for-profit model and build affordable social housing for all. Here's the problem with what's happening in California. A lot of the investors or the builders, they don't want to build affordable housing. They want to build high-end. They want to build luxury. They want to build all kind. You know what I'm saying? So Maria Padres is saying, I sold my house 18 days in Fort Lauderdale back in May. Glad. Good for you. She dumped it. Good for you. Prices are dropping right now in the state of Florida. So good for you. Good job. Here in LA, inventory is very tight and the flippers are working like crazy. 300K houses 5 years ago are now 600K because the light rail is coming. It's a ghetto hood. Someone said, pull up my house, 1199 West 132nd. I don't think I want to pull up your house. I don't mind, but I don't think I want to do it on a live stream. Maybe I could pull up your neighbors or 3 doors down from you, because I want to keep people under wraps here. I don't want to go against people's, you know what I mean, right? People value their privacy. So there's another bill here. Nobody wants to build. See, the problem is when the middle class leaves, there's nobody supporting the infrastructure anymore, and people are forgetting that. The middle class is what? Do you think the rich contribute to infrastructure? No, they don't. The rich don't pay crap. They do pay tax, but they don't pay like they should be, right? So, and it's not the dirt poor because they're receiving benefits or handouts to help them get along. It's the middle class. Once this middle class can't afford to live, they just move to other states. You know what I'm saying? Let's move on. California's got a lot of problems right now. California knows how to party, though, guys. You got to give them that much. So, Christchurch, New Zealand. And I had somebody on the show a few weeks back from Christchurch talking about what's happening in New Zealand. Is there too many houses? Because, you know what? Everyone's been binging off this stupid, oh, there's not enough supply. We need to build more. And now we're in an oversupply. We're in an oversupply right now. Lost Canuck, you want to call me, bud? Give us a heads up on what's happening in Toronto, on the GTA Barrie area. Lost Canuck, can you please call me? I'd like to see what's happening. So Christchurch, real estate market is nearly at the end of another slow but steady year, leaving some in the industry to ponder uncomfortable question. Does the city have too many houses? The largest statistics suggest the supply is more than meeting the demand. The average rentable value rentable value, not RV as recreation vehicle, Christchurch properties has barely moved over the last 24 months. The median house price in the city is rising, but negligibly so. Whether you're talking about bankers or economists or real estate agents, they're all just saying that we're in a slow, steady period of no growth, and that's what we're seeing out here. Quotable valuer, I guess a valuer, Collins said. Supply is just equal demand. No, I think they overbuilt. And there's a lot of cities that have overbuilt. Toronto, they're breaking ground and still pre-built, and prices are going down fast. And people are sitting, you know what I'm saying? I think Mario DeSetti's buddy, are you there? Can you call me, man? Mario, where are you? Lost Canuck. Man, I'll just give him a call. I'm going to bug him. I hope he's driving. You know, if he's driving, you know, it's nice, you know, if he's driving and I can help him out while he's driving. And let me see if he's here in my call list here. Yeah, I'll see if he's available. Give us phone ain't ringing. Oh, there it goes.
Buddy?
Who the hell is this?
Hello?
Mary, you there?
Yeah, give me 1 second, buddy.
Okay.
1 second. I'm just hooking up my phone. Hold on.
I hope he's driving. So we got Victram T in the comments saying, "Hi Mike, I sold my home this August in Seattle suburbs in Linwood. I had a hard time with 1 or 2 parties from the end of June 2018. 3 months on market, people dropping prices 20 to 30 at a time." Yep. Seattle's down $75,000 right now. So
there we go. Here we go.
Are you driving?
No. I had to get my earpiece. My phone, I dropped it in water a couple days ago, so it doesn't work on the receiver end. So I got to hook up my speakers.
Oh, you're so lucky, dude.
Yeah. Still works. So what's happening, buddy?
Nothing. I'm calling you to find out what's going on out in the east there. I'm not finding anything in Toronto, buddy. It's like Toronto fell off the map.
Yeah, I think what's happening is, I don't know if you saw that Andrew Clark, that posting of the actual what's happening with the new house sales in GTA. Did you see that?
Tell us what's going on.
Well, they say right now in 2015 we reached a number at 19,000 and change of new homes sold, and right now in 2018 in the GTA area of Toronto, it's probably talking the north too. We're at only under 4,000.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of stuff going on the market right now, right?
Yeah.
So supply, there's an oversupply on the market. So Mario, what happened to supply and demand?
Oh, that's a game. That's a game, Mike. We all know that. That's all the investors going in there and buying up land. There's 2 sites. I did a video a couple days ago. There's one near my house. They took down the trees. They excavated. They're putting houses there. But the new homes aren't moving like they used to. They push the, I guess you could say, the propaganda.
Yeah.
Where they're going to raise the prices, just like what we talked about, going to a bar, they have 20 people outside, but meanwhile inside it's empty. So they are trying so hard to not let us know, or they're going to be in a lot of trouble because a lot of them are financed through companies. The example, the one I told you, Fortress Development.
That's right.
That's already been seized by the RCMP. So I don't know, Mike. I don't know. I've seen it before, but this is dramatic. This is I don't know how to explain it, Mike. I just don't know how everything's kept above.
Well, did you see me reading off the housing prices in the United States where they were in the 2007 crash and where they are today? And I'm reading some of them, like median house price in Montana, $231. You know, median house price in, where was it? Oklahoma, $137. Median house price in Louisiana, 162. Median house price in Tennessee, 167. Like, what's happening in Canada, dude? Well, the whole western part of the United States and California is like super crazy, right? But what is happening, Mario?
I think it's people just invested in money and they made it, like you said, the foreigners came in, they put one guy in, they put 10 foreigners, people put in behind all this money and just escalated to the free market.
Did you hear the first article I read? Foreign buyers tax may become a reality in Montreal as housing market beats Toronto and Vancouver.
Yeah, well, they apparently they know who's the foreigners when they come in, because apparently Quebec, the province of Quebec, this is what they told me. I don't know if it's true. When they buy a house, they ask if they're foreigners or not. Something maybe somebody from Montreal, Quebec can clarify for us. But that's what I heard from one of my subscribers.
Yeah.
That they actually have to give details to the lawyer that they're foreigners that are investing.
Yeah,
so they have that. They have something implemented, but they have never forced the outcome of tax to be paid. So
well,
it's interesting to see.
Well, I have an article here. I want to read the title to you. It's very important because it's what you're talking about in your area. It says, "Is Christchurch the only New Zealand city with too many houses?" So what's happening in Christchurch is they've been fighting over supply versus demand. There's not a lot of homes. Now there's a pile of homes sitting empty in Christchurch, and no one's buying them.
Yeah, see, and that's what's going to happen here in Barrie, guaranteed.
Yeah, complete empty streets, complete vacant blocks. No kids playing at the park, no kids out and playing, barbecuing, nobody. It's all empty streets.
Yeah, and that's one thing that's sad. And the other thing, Mike, I want to talk to even your subscribers, anybody listening. Barrie had a place called Allendale. It's like Allendale in Barrie. It's an old train station. They were going to revamp it, redo everything for GO Train and all that. So what happened is, so I can give you a little history on it. I was looking into it yesterday and today, that they had a burial ground of Native Indians there. So they had to stop it in 2010, 11. They actually going through lawsuits now with an appraiser that went to the city of Barrie and told them how much this land is worth in this building. So apparently what the city of Barrie officials did is they passed around that assessment. Now, if anybody knows, once you pay somebody to do a appraisal, you have no grounds of giving that to somebody else except the appraiser himself. If the appraiser himself gives that document, that's his problem. But once the city did that, they're actually suing. I was looking into it. I'll let you know more about it. And the actual guy that's suing, it's him and his wife, because apparently the other company is suing them. So it's a mess. And the reason why I'm telling you this is because the city of Barrie, we don't know who did all this, you can say all this illegal things. And these are the same people that give out building permits. These are the same people that give subdivisions all these okay to build or overinflated homes. And that's what bothers me. Then these people should be removed, should be charged, because what's happening, Mike, is they're now trying to approve another commercial land near my house to build 173 condos. So
it's like our friend here, Vikram T, is talking about the commutes in Seattle has increased drastically in the past 4 to 5 years, and what he's saying is they ripped up the vegetation in his area, and I even covered this article about 1.5 years, 2 years ago when they wanted to put more tech companies in Seattle. And what happened was they started ripping up the vegetation and some of the trees to build more condos and stuff. But now, Mario, you know and I know, we all know, what's going to happen to the commutes?
I don't think people realize what they're doing. I think a lot of these people get scared. They think they're bought out of the market and they start investing, and the next thing you know, people are walking. And we haven't even got the numbers, Mike, be honest. Here in Ontario, how many are walking away? How many people are walking away from these houses they bought from 2 years ago to a year ago?
Mm-hmm.
And it's sad. It's sad because the government should be on it right away, saying, okay, we have a dilemma here. So that means if GM, just like I told you, Chrysler gets bailed out. Trudeau let them write off, I think it was $1.6 billion of their loan when they got bailed out from Canada.
That's
I don't know if you know that one.
Yeah, I know, but that's pretty bad because we actually get. So do all of Canadians own a percentage of Chrysler for that?
No, of course not.
Because we should all own. Yeah,
we should all have a vehicle. And what I think is, what the other thing I want to say is, the only reason why that doofus is doing this is so they don't move down south.
Mm-hmm.
There's another. Then there's I don't know if you heard Kraft's cheese.
Mm-hmm.
They're actually selling their company to a French company in Ingersoll, Ontario. So there's 400 people going to be without a job. So that's a little town that's going to be without a job. That means these companies are having an agreement, let's say, with the government, saying that they can't move, and they give them this incentive to stay. That's between them and the government. It's a concealed document or whatever. This is what I'm thinking. So if they want to get out of it, they're going to say, you know what, we're going to sell the company, 100%.
Wow.
So they sell the company can do whatever it wants.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what's happening. And that's why the government is letting all this happen. But meanwhile, we're letting all migrants come in. We're letting all people come in when we don't even have enough money to feed everybody. And here we go. Here we go again. Where elections are coming up next year. And let me ask you, Mike, who would you vote for?
You know
There's
what?
no one to vote for.
We don't have we need a Donald Trump in there. But the problem is, we put a Donald Trump in there. You know, there's going to be media blackouts. You know, a lot of people are going to be going to jail when it comes.
Oh, yeah.
So if we get a Donald Trump there, we're going to be in a lot of trouble because either if you got to be like in the secret back, you know, the back rooms, you know, whispering to each other. Yeah, I support him. Yeah, me too. Don't worry, he's got my support. You know, but that's what it's going to be, the silent majority. But we need a Donald Trump. Canada needs a Donald Trump.
Yeah.
You know, we need somebody. I don't know who. Like, I mean, is there anybody that you know of off the top of your head? Like maybe the Mercer, Frank Mercer from the Mercer Report. Remember that guy?
Yeah.
He used to call out the government all the time on the government stupidity and government expenditures and idiotic things and make jokes about it. He knows enough about the government to actually put his foot down and tell everyone, you know, where to go.
Well, even what's her name? The retired Governor General. She's still getting paid. How many years? She's still getting paid through the government.
Yeah.
I think it was 100,000 sitting at home, and she's not doing anything. Like, this is absurd. I think what's going to happen now, Mike, I was getting nervous last night. You know, I Facebooked you last night. I was getting so nervous. I thought it'd be more votes for the Republic yesterday, but it gave me a heartbeat until I seen the 51% where I could say, okay. Because people don't realize, you know and I know, this is a big deal down south, man. Such a big deal that I'm just waiting for, you know what I'm waiting for now. I don't care about anything else now. You know what I'm waiting for. I'm not going to advertise it, but I know it's coming now. This is what I've been waiting for. The judges to do what they have to do and him to do what he has to do now.
Okay.
I think it's done on purpose in a lot of ways that he wanted it to end like this so he can start attacking now.
Yeah, I think yeah, this is okay, guys, there's a guy in the comment section, Vikram T. Vikram, if you could add me to whatchamacallit, Skype. My Skype is Mike Martins 1980, MikeMartins 1980. If you don't have Skype, get it for your phone. It's free. I use it on my phone. It's clearer than using a landline. So, Vikram T, you are in Seattle. If you want to add me on Skype, I'd like to have you on the show sometime. It doesn't have to be tonight, but it could be sometime because you are telling us what's happening in the housing market there, and you understand what's happening in the housing market there. I'd like to know, we'd like to know if you could, you know, come sometime on our show. Add me on Skype, Mike Martins 1980, for Vikram T out there from Washington State. Anyways, so Mario, what are they going to do with this massive oversupply in Toronto? There's lots of cranes. There's lots of places being built, and the value of the properties are going down, and people are paying more for what they're worth when they're completed. What's going on?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I think they're going to give them all out. They're going to give them free. Maybe the government's going to bail them out, bail these buildings out. That's what I see happening. All these big developers are going to be bailed out.
But that's not fair, because a lot of people didn't play in this game. Why are the developers getting bailed out, and then the Canadian proper is left holding the bag?
I have no idea, man. It's a game. It's a game. Like I said, this market should have crashed 3 times already.
Oh, in a normal housing market, we should have cycled at least twice or thrice.
Yeah. And it's gotten so stupid that actually people think that they're going to make it. And you look at all the debt that's out there.
Mm-hmm.
I'll explain something to you, Mike. This is what I thought the other day. And Andrew Clark actually agreed with me. Is the interest rates are going to go up to 5-6% on a mortgage, which is normal.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? To keep our dollar at a fair rate in the world market,
mm-hmm.
You leave it at 5-6%. Now, once you do that, just like repeated history, once you start raising rates, housing prices drop. Because number one, affordability, but no. Number two is the dollar goes a little bit up and stays steady, but also the banks don't hold this money anymore. It's the people that lose the money are going to hold this money.
That's right.
So the banks actually, yeah. So you bought that house, let's say you paid $800,000.
Mm-hmm.
You have a $600,000 mortgage. In reality, if it was at 5%, you would have $300,000 mortgage if you're lucky.
Mm-hmm.
So
mm-hmm.
the bank looks at the numbers. The bank does not. People, me and you understand this. The problem is a lot of people out there don't understand this. The banks don't physically have this money. They only say, I'm going to lend you this money because the government says I am a governor body. I'm allowed to lend out 100 times more than what I actually have physically. So they're just numbers on a computer, numbers generated. But
mm-hmm.
the person that's paying the mortgage is actually using its own money to pay the bank.
Mm-hmm.
So at the end of the day, when you really think deep inside, the bank does not lose a penny. The bank only loses the value of what you paid for that home.
That's right. That's right. And you know what? A lot of people have taken the banks to court, and they could actually prove that the bank did not have the money in its vault to lend you out the money to buy that house. I've seen that happen before, where people would take the bank to court and say, no, I could prove on that day, on this day, you didn't have enough money to cover my mortgage to lend me that money.
Yeah. And there's actually a guy in California. I'm going to find it. I'm going to send it to you. I saw it a couple of years ago. He actually went in bank in person to pay his mortgage with cash, and they wouldn't accept it. I don't know if you've ever seen that.
Oh, yeah, I heard about that. Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah, they wouldn't accept his cash, yeah.
They wanted him to deposit in the bank, and then he had to pay his mortgage. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's, and like I said, that train place up in Barrie, who knows how much money they're spending,
mm-hmm.
the city of Barrie. And this is like we had the elections, I think, not even a month ago for mayor. This should have been publicized a lot better than what it is. So
mm-hmm.
I kind of blame the newspapers in Barrie in one way, because if people start reading this stuff, they'd understand that we need someone in there that's going to take care of us. Because right now, everybody's just out for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And we all know that. That's been going on for the last, 50 years. And it's just too bad. It's too bad. Cities are overspending the money they don't have.
Mm-hmm.
And then they can't even take care of other simple things. And they complain, and they have to have fundraisers. Schools are going to have fun. Like, I'm sorry, Mike, but schools shouldn't have fundraisers.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a strong believer that schools should not have fundraisers. We should have enough money to supply the schools. I don't know. I remember when we were kids, we used to get extra notebooks, extra pens. There was everything at the school. And I blame some of the people, too. They used to steal things and whatever. But right now, we keep donating, giving money, and we're not even making the money we used to make.
Yep.
And everybody's looking for that dollar. Guy knocks on your door. He wants to see your receipt on your gas bill. You can save money. Like, it's gotten so stupid now. Sometimes, brother, I just want to move to an island
mm-hmm.
where I have just a home. I can eat my fresh fish, vegetables, and I live like a king. You get off the grid, get off the internet, get off the phone, because it's come down to it that I believe the system is so poisoned that I hope to God my kids will have a house paid for by the time they're my age. That's what I'm hoping for. But the way this market's going, they make up numbers. There's a lot of fraud going on, even in the stock market, and it's got to change. It's got to change.
Yeah, you know what a lot of Canadians, young Canadians, should do. Young Canadians, they should either get the European Union citizenship, because you're Italian. Your kids should get a European Union just in case, or your children should start getting their American citizenship at a young age and apply for it at a young age so they could get it 10 years down the road. Because if something happens here, they could move to Alabama. They could move to South Carolina. They don't, you know what I'm saying? And they could actually afford to live and bring their profession or what they do there, right? As opposed to getting stuck in Canada between 3 major cities. You're screwed.
Yeah, I'm thinking, I'm actually, Mike, I was thinking of that last night, that I want to apply for it just to see what would happen.
Yeah, because like for you, you're a skilled tradesman. If you move down to some part of Texas, you could buy a nice little piece of land, 10, 15 acres, a nice house for like $225, you know?
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Yep.
Isn't that crazy?
Oh, you could pick and choose for $225. You could pick and choose.
It's gone, I don't know, man, I don't know. And it bothers me every time I pass by and I see houses up for sale and they sell, and I feel sorry for the people that bought it.
Yep.
Because they really think this market's going to keep going. And even if it does, even if those people are saying me and you are always, you know, we're always looking at it's going to go down and it's never going to go down, I want people to understand one thing. You cannot always use this money that they think they have because it runs dry.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to run dry. And I'm telling you, Mike, I'll be the first one to tell you, he's going to resign.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you right now, he's going to resign.
No. Were you talking about Trudeau?
Yeah.
No, he's not going to resign. No, he will never resign.
Watch.
Do you know why he won't resign? Do you know why he won't resign, Mario?
Why?
Because he thinks he's doing the right thing.
Yeah. I wonder if we also have Max Bernier. Isn't he running for federal, right?
Yeah, I think so. I'm not too sure, but I got to look into him. Maybe get him on the show.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's the only guy that I probably would vote, even if he got 2 votes.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you look at all the votes we have, we don't have people in there that are business sense at all. At all.
Yeah, there's no business sense at all. Yeah. Okay.
You need someone there to have it. All right, buddy.
I'm gonna let you do your thing. Maybe let you watch the show from afar. I'm gonna let you do your thing, and we'll have you on next week if you have some time and some updated stories for us on what's happening.
Yeah. I'm gonna give you an update on all that stuff. That'd be great. Give me a week, and I'll get into it.
Okay. Thanks, brother.
No problem, buddy. Enjoy. Say hi to everybody.
I will. God bless you. Bye.
You too, brother. Ciao.
So that's Mario, boots on the ground in Barrie, Ontario, on assignment for the Mike Martins channel. And so anyways, just doing things here. My wife is everybody's messaging me here. Okay, so this is an important one. Haine Royal Commissions. Banks confess to forgery, bullying, sexual harassment. So this is in the Australia. The release of the original summaries of the decade's worth of misconduct by the banks have cast a new light on poor behavior from the Big Four banks, revealing previously unheard details about fraud, bullying, sexual harassment, and data breaches. The Haine Royal Commission published the submissions made by the banks in response to a request by the Commissioner Kenneth Haine to provide a summary of misconduct at the banks and their attempts to address them in 50 pages or less. So what's going on in Australia and the banks? Sexual harassment, all this stuff. Commissioner Haine scathing the bank's original efforts, with the banks unable to provide enough detail or meet the required deadlines Among the documented published by the Royal Commission are the bank's subsequent attempts to provide more fulsome and details answered. Among the new details to emerge of the massive dump of more than 250 documents from financial institutions are episodes of bank staffing forging signatures, sexual harassment and staff members, and non-payment of employee superannuation benefits. Its original submission made by the ANZ and the bank revealed that the branch employee found to have falsified more than 100 loan documents. You're not helping the customer when you do this garbage. You're lining your pockets. 2 business bankers who colluded with third parties to make 47 fraudulent loans. A mobile banker who submitted false documents, and many more instances of ANZ staff forging signatures on loan documents. Submission made by the Commonwealth Bank included a spreadsheet of misconduct which details multiple reports of sexual harassment at work events outside of workplace. And other example, a case of inappropriate comments and sexual language resulted in an employee who was on probation being dismissed. Wow. NAB submission included details of a number of data breaches, including the erroneous listing of credit card defaults against 16,228 customers in breach of the Privacy Act, an employee emailing the details of South Australian customers base to 535 customers, and a massive data breach. The NAB saw the personal details of 60,463 customers sent to owner of a string adult websites. Oh my goodness! Westpac's submission also contains the detail of about a number of alarming incidents, including staff manipulation, internal systems such as simulating account deposits to trigger bonuses. What a bunch of garbage. Falsely recording and the offers has made it in order to keep key performance indicators and details of third-party brokers who specialized in Chinese migrants who used fake letters of employment and other documents, leading to the bank to establish foreign income verification team. What a bunch of garbage. What a bunch of garbage. So, banks confess to forgery, bullying, and sexual... That's what they're confessing to. What else do you think is going on underlying? What a bunch of garbage. And putting garbage on the books, people trying to line their pockets. And you know what the funny part is? They're lining their pockets, but they're living in this cesspool of expensiveness. So they're not lining their pockets and shipping the money to Alabama so they could buy a 10-bedroom house and on 10 acres of land for $300 grand. No, they're lining their pockets to live and continue in this cesspool. So it's not like the money is being used, you know what I'm saying? They're all in this expensive, with their flashy homes and cars and suits, to maintain a lifestyle that's not even, I mean, it doesn't even add up. What a bunch of garbage. And the underwriters for approving these deals and not looking into the deals, you know, it's not looking at pay stubs properly, not looking at the banks. Oh God, and it's a bunch of garbage. And they're supposed to be regulated, and they're supposed to be taking care of us. They're supposed to be making sure we get the proper products. They're a bunch of losers. Losers. Banking confidence right now in Australia should be negative 90%. Negative 90% confidence in the banking district. The banking district should see a 90% negative confidence right now in what is going on. You know what I'm saying? It's very important. Very important to see what's going on and what's going on and how it's going on, because it's crucial. Because this is an absolute it's sad. You go into your bank like you go into your barber to cut your hair. You give him $20 to take care of you. You go to the bank, you give your money to take care of you and give you something that could help you and your family. You end up getting shafted. You see, you get a bad haircut at the barber, you don't go back to him. But you get shafted at the bank, it haunts you for life because you're at fault for taking and signing on the dotted line. So, very disgusted with that. Australia's housing downturn could spark interest rate cut. Go ahead. Make my day. Lower your interest rates. You're going to see your dollar collapse overnight. Australian property prices set to fall further as clearance rates edge lower. So this is from a Canadian. I think this is a Canadian. It's for the Business Insider Australia, but I think I've seen this guy before. Writing articles. Australian property prices set to fall further as clearance rates edge lower. Australian auction clearance rates fell last week despite a sharp reduction in the number of properties going under the hammer. Final clearance rates for Sydney and Melbourne could be revised to fresh, cynical lows given poor auction reporting levels during the week, with clearance rates continuing to edge lower at the time when stock listings are seasonally strong. Price declines may get a little larger rather than smaller in the near term. So that's what's happening here. According to CoreLogic, a combined capitals primarily clearance rate of 47.4% was reported last week, down the primarily estimate of 50.2% released in 7 days earlier. In contrast, the recent trend of preliminary clearance rates for homes was stronger than those for apartments, coming in at 48.3% and 44.2% respectively. Of other results received, just 497 homes sold prior to and after the auction. A total of 531 properties failed to sell, including 171 that were withdrawn prior to going onto the market. What's going on? It's supposed to be springtime in Australia. Everyone's supposed to be buying stuff. Everybody's supposed to be buying across the capital. Sydney's preliminary clearance rate eased despite the similar number of homes going under the hammer, falling 47.7% from 50.7% 7 days earlier. Reporting levels in the city improved modestly week on week, lifting 67.5% from 67.5%. Wow. Despite the sharp decreases in supply, primarily clearance rates across the city were largely untouched, rising to 50.5% a week earlier. So here it is. There's the decrease in supply, but it doesn't matter. People are pulling them off of the market left, right, and center. In the year to October, CoreLogic said that Sydney and Melbourne's median home price fell 7.4% to 4.7% respectively, largest declines in any capital city over this period, the fastest since 1990. Here's a little graph here showing you where it is, clearance rate totals, and CoreLogic uncleared auctions are the more important you have to look at here. These are all the uncleared auctions right here. That gives you a sign that it's not a supply and demand issue, it's an affordability issue, and it's, can I afford to own this damn place? And when people can't secure financing, guess what happens? No one buys. And once the middle class starts disappearing, good luck maintaining your infrastructure. Good luck getting people to pick up your garbage. Sydney auction clearance rate below 50% for the fourth week, and that's yesterday's article. Property watchers warned that Sydney was in two-speed market the weekend as vendors outer western suburbs struggled to find buyers. It's happening, guys. I think they won $17 million for that right there. 17 million bucks. Yeah. Yeah. If you are paying $2.5 million for a house and you're selling it at $1.5 million and the market is down by 10%, you are making up some pretty good money there. But that's not what's happening. Vendors and agents will be motivated to sell to avoid coming back on the market again next year in what will be an uncertain market in specific areas, he said. Motivated sellers! Motivated sellers, people. Motivated sellers. Don't forget, lots of motivated sellers now in Australia. Look at that. See that house right there? $3 million bucks. That's $3 million right there. That's $3 million. Yeah, it's $3 million bucks. Oh, what's going on in London, people? London has a surplus of empty luxury apartments, which should be good news for the housing crisis, but here's why. Ooh, all these empty luxury apartments in London. Nobody wants to buy them. I told you, no one's building homes for affordable housing. Auckland's housing market favoring buyers. So now Auckland is looking at favoring specific buyers. So the average price in Auckland dipped 1.3% from September to $964,000. You won't be seeing realistic numbers in Auckland for at least another 20 more months. More first home buyers in Auckland snapping up deposits subsidy as market slows. Guys, don't get this market subsidy loan. This is garbage. They had it in Toronto, first time home buyers loan. Guys, don't get this. You're going to have to pay it back in 4 years. I know it's interest free. Please be careful getting this garbage. Spring fever, Auckland's house prices surge to 2018 record. Again, you're getting two different articles from two different... you're getting... this is News Talk New Zealand, and this is News Talk New Zealand. So you're getting two different articles on the same day saying two different things. So Steve the Plumber, go ahead and call in, buddy. If you're around, Steve the Plumber, let me know if you could call in. I got some family things to take care of here in the house. I hear my daughter yelling at my son. And I think my kids have school tomorrow. Well, it's still 7:30 here, but... So Steve the Plumber, please call if you can, please. I'm going to have myself a nice little Rice Krispie square here for my son's Halloween stash. I'm sorry, I'm a sucker for Rice Krispie squares. Don't get mad at me. I can't have enough of these. So, eBanQ is saying, who the heck is going to buy anything in the market in Canada or Australia? It's a sucker born every minute, right? Someone's asking, what happens to the keto? And see, this is a special rice, right? So you hear my daughter arguing upstairs. I'm not sure what's going on up there. I hope there's no fighting. Lord Humongous is saying, when the bond rate passes 3.25%, the fireworks show begins. Yeah, bond markets are looking very favorable right now to investors. So that's what's happening right now. Watch my predictions. There's one a video I put up, my predictions for 2018, 2019. Everything's been bang on so far. Interest rates are going up. Housing market's crashing. Price of gold's going to slightly rally. Price of oil is going to rally big time. Price of oil is very undervalued. And so we're still waiting for Steve the Plumber here. I'm going to enjoy this Rice Krispie square. Kevin Thompson in the comment section. I think Steve's parked outside his house. Who the hell is this?
Who the hell is this?
Hey, how are you, Steve?
Good, how are you, buddy?
You know how it is. You win some, you lose some.
There you go.
Okay, what do you have for us? Go ahead.
Well, I have to admit, I'm glad the Lost Canuck is still on because this is a direct, not so much a plug, but my hat's off to him. Do you remember when that guy was saying, people are walking away from deposits and right, left, and center?
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, I didn't realize how bad it was, and I just actually found out.
And his comment was directly correlated or aimed at new home construction. And again, my hat's off to him. He walked the block, went into the houses in a rough-in stage. For people that don't know what that is, means, you know, the house is just merely framed. You know, it's sheeted. There's plywood up on the roof. Maybe there's shingles. Ready for, you know, rough-in plumbing, electrical, ductwork, so on and so forth. I remember seeing his video, and it's actually quite funny. He's right on the money. There are, I guess, within the last 24 to 48 hours, I've subscribed to about 4 or 5 builders in more recent times, especially when things were just winding down at the height of the market. And Mike, they're now sending e-blasts out about all their inventory that is ready to go. In other words, they're 30-day move-in ready homes. They call them quick sale or quick move-in, depending on the builder. They're sitting on their inventory, and it's basically ready to rock and roll. You can move in with 30 days. You know, luxury finishes, complete, pick your own paint colors or all this other stuff. And I phoned 3 of them today. 2 out of 3 of them openly admitted that these houses are a direct result of people walking away from their deposits.
Oh!
So my hat's off to that old fart Mario. I love him to death. But he was right on the man, right on the money.
Yeah, I've been talking about when I started doing the Vancouver videos that people will be walking away from deposits because before I got into the international market, I've been talking about the people walking away from deposits because when I was in Fort Lauderdale and in and around the end of 2000 and mid 2007, everybody was walking away from the deposits, and it was disgusting. It was disgusting when people were walking away from the deposits, and it's been a big problem. And we're not seeing it too much in Vancouver because they're not breaking ground as much. But in Toronto, Toronto's Crane City. So is Sydney too.
Yep, and Mike, this is real estate from in the GTA and surrounding area, including Kitchener and Waterloo.
Wow, it's reaching out that far.
Absolutely it is, for sure. Now keep in mind, the houses in Kitchener-Waterloo, they're all over $750,000.
What? For there?
Yeah, it's crazy. So a lot of people, 680 to 750 is the threshold upwards. 4-bedroom, 3.5 bath, 4 bath, give or take. It's pretty bad, very bad.
What? But guys, listening to me from like the States and Australia and New Zealand and stuff in the UK, guys, Kitchener Waterloo area would be like I don't
quick closing, yes.
I don't even know what it is. I don't even know what to call it because it's so remote. Isn't it remote still, or is it all built up?
No, there's a lot of big box stores there. I mean, Mario will second this. They have, Home Depots and Costco's and everything else. The tech sector within Kitchener-Waterloo is rather large. It's no longer a university town or a commuter town. It is very much so self-sustainable. They have everything that you need there.
Okay. But still, 700 large?
Yeah, I kid you not. I couldn't believe it. I laughed. I said, good luck. And they said, well, we're hoping we can move the inventory. We're really hoping people from the GTA will come and snap these up because they see the value in it.
Oh, really? They're hoping on that?
Yeah, the average person in Kitchener-Waterloo is not going to buy, a $700,000-$800,000 home.
Right. So the people in the GTA could sell their home if they could sell it for $1 million and then move up there. But they can't. They can't sell it for $1 million because no one's buying homes right now. There's There's an over inventory. There's too much inventory on the markets.
Yep.
There's more inventory on the market than what's selling. So what happened to the supply and demand bull crap?
Well, that's what I had said. I said, so as supply and demand comes to fruition, and we really figure out that the supply and demand factor is, in actual fact, false. As interest rates rise, just as Mario just said, the Lost Canuck, as interest rates continue to rise, house prices must come down.
Well, they have to because you're borrowing, the cost of borrowing is going to go up. You can't borrow $1 million at 5%. Unless you're willing to pay $60,000 a year in juice.
Exactly. It's not good at all. And I firmly believe we will at least see 2.5, more than likely 3% as an overnight benchmark lending rate from the Bank of Canada by the end of 2019.
Oh, we have to keep up with the U.S. We don't have any way around it. There's no other way but to keep up with the U.S.
Absolutely, because we have more problems and we know what to deal with if our currency declines any more than it already does.
So Kevin Thompson in the comment section says rates have already went up and prices are still going up.
Yeah, why don't you smash another wheat cookie, buddy?
Hey, what do you think of this article? Foreign buyers tax may become a reality in Montreal as housing market beats Toronto and Vancouver.
Well, I think they have enough information to figure out what went on in Vancouver and then what went on in Toronto after Vancouver put in the tax and then Toronto put in the tax and now Montreal. Montreal has to be very, very careful because Montreal does not have the economy that Toronto has. And if you start creating an irrational exuberance and house prices continue to go through the roof, and it's no longer affordable for the average, Quebecer or whatever you want to call it, that actual housing market will implode on itself in its entirety. So they need to definitely put a foreign buyer's tax on there if they want to be even remotely on the map. Because God forbid Bombardier can't save them. They can't even save themselves without the part-time drama teacher giving them all kinds of money.
Mm-hmm. So, did you hear about the amount of closures from Lowe's? And Rona is looking to close a few stores in Canada, and so is Home Depot. Might come into the equation too.
Sorry, say that again.
Lowe's, Lowe's, the furniture, the building store. They're in a lot of trouble in Canada, so they're closing 38 underperforming locations, right?
Yes, that's correct.
And they're also closing locations. They're now Rona and Home Depot are looking to jump on the closure train too, from what I heard.
Yeah, it's not a great thing for local economies that are going to be affected by it. However, Lowe's is doing the right thing. The guy that actually sits at the helm, who's the CEO of Lowe's, I guess was driving the ship at Home Depot for quite some time. He's not a stupid guy. He knows what's going on. When he was at Home Depot, he basically preyed on, Lowe's being unsuccessful and saw exactly what was going on as it was happening, and that's why Home Depot strives so well. Now he's jumped ship for the almighty buck, and I guess he's trying to do a 360 and prove and justify the bane of his existence, and I'm pretty sure he'll do it because he's no dummy.
Yeah, and now with Home Depot looking to close, the thing is, no one's fixing homes anymore. Why are you going to fix a devaluing property?
Well, people will always need to, need supplies to, fix up their houses or do certain things, or they'll go and they'll wanna renovate some way somehow. And as people don't have the disposable income, they will try to be jack of all trades and try to go at it on their own instead of calling a carpenter or a plumber or an electrician. And, you know, that's really what those big box do-it-yourself stores are. They supply you with a little bit of knowledge and, you know, the goods, and they send you packing, so to speak. It never ends well, but sometimes people will get by on the bare minimum to not have to pay trades.
Someone in the comment section is asking, Steve, does Lowe's closing affect your job? Curious to know.
Absolutely not. Why would it affect my job? That's actually a very good question. Lowe's closing doesn't do anything good and doesn't do anything bad for my job. At the end of the day, the majority of people go to Home Depot because Home Depot covers way more ground. And Home Depot's been in the game for a very, very long time. Mike, you remember Aikenheads?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Lowe's basically came to Canada and said, okay, Aikenheads, you're either going to sell to us or we're going to open up a store across the street and use our U.S. dollar and our buying power, and we're going to put you out of business in 1 year or less.
Mm-hmm.
What's it going to be? So that's what happened there. Yeah, big box store has nothing to do with me whatsoever. But very good question.
Yeah, but you know, because some people do contracting work through them, so they get referrals.
Yeah, I don't contract from the big box stores. I've been in the trade 20 years.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm just saying a lot of people do that too, right? So were you watching when I was talking about the medium sale price for a house in Iowa, $149,000? The medium house price in Utah, $275,000. Were you watching that when I went through that entire list?
No, I wasn't.
Because what they're doing is they're doing comparables from the median house price, for example, in West Virginia in 2017 is $119,000, and in 2007, after the crash, was $96,000. So they're showing how much movement the house made in basically 10 years. And that's this is a normal assessment. So look at this. Median house price value, $119,800 in 2017. Median house value in 2007, after the crash, $96,000. A percentage change of 24.8%. That 24.8% is perfect, and it hedges against inflation, and that's in a 10-year period. Right? But then, yeah, $119,800 in West Virginia for the average house. But in Vancouver, Toronto, it's like 3 to 8% a quarter. And that's, in Toronto's 3 to 8% every quarter was going up when prices went nuts. This is 24.8% in a matter of 10 years. So a $96,000 house in 2007 right now is worth $119,800, the average price in 2017. That's normal because your wages are according, everything's according, you're living a happy life, you have disposable income. But in Toronto and Vancouver, people were pushing $1.4, $1.2 million for a house. How the heck are they going to live, Steve?
Yeah, no kidding.
You know, like, how was that even possible? Here's West Virginia. Here's Mississippi, average house in 2017, $120,000. That's the benchmark price for our average house in Mississippi. $120,000, Steve. Median house value in 2007, $96,000. A percentage change of 25.2%. In 10 years, the average median house went up 25.2% in 10 years. That's fantastic. But in Toronto, it goes up 40% in a year.
Yeah, well, those days are come and gone.
Well, but do you see why I've been making this show for the last 7, 8 years? It's because of this.
Absolutely. It defines all logic.
Yep.
Well, I have some other news.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I was into the bank, and I had wanted to confirm what one of my banker buddies had said. And we meet every couple of weeks. So I went in just to lock in a rate in the event that I needed to, I decided to, pounce on a good deal because there are some sellers that are under duress, and you can see it in the market right now, and it's going to continue to happen as interest rates rise. That said, going to the bank to get my piece of toilet paper for a mortgage pre-qualification, I was told in explicit terms that this is a mortgage pre-qualification based on your total debt service ratio and what you can afford at today's rates. And I said, that's great, fantastic. I said, so what's new and exciting? Well, we need to make you aware of something, that interest rates are going to continue to rise. Your rate is going to be locked in for about 130 days or 120 days. However, in the event that you were to close a property and interest rates, the overnight interest rate, or the banks decided to raise their 5-year fixed rate or their prime, whatever it may be, on the basis and the guidelines of the Bank of Canada, you will then have to qualify at those rates plus 2%, but you will still remain at that rate if you choose to lock in at a 5-year fixed rate. In other words, I get a 5-year fixed rate today for, call it 4%, for example. All of a sudden, that 5-year fixed rate goes up to 4.5% by the time I go and close my house. Well, guess what? I now have to qualify at 4.5% plus 2% for the stress testing.
Wow.
They're changing it now.
Wow. And you can't, and because you're business for self, can't you do stated income?
I don't need stated income. The business is established, and I actually pay myself. Salary, dividends, so on and so forth. And I have both. I have 2 years financials for both corporation and personal.
Okay. I'm just saying, because you could just go in there and state how much you make without it proving it. Because that's, I think some banks are offering business for self people stated income, right? You just state what you make, and they'll believe you, and then they'll see if they can fit you into a product, right? Because they've been getting very desperate lately to find quality. Because I didn't get approved for a mortgage for my house because I'm business for self.
Okay.
So I just bought the house free and clear. I didn't have a choice.
There's nothing wrong with that. In actual fact, you have to remember that if you were to take a mortgage for every $100,000, it's no longer $5,000, Mike. It's about between $5,500 and $5,700 a year for every $100,000 you borrow.
Right. So if I borrowed $300,000, it'd be like 15, 16 grand a year in finance charges.
That's correct. Yeah.
So I'm better off by buying it free and clear, like I did.
Absolutely.
I could use that.
Sure.
I could use that 15 grand. I could take it to Mexico.
Yeah, or pay your property taxes.
Property taxes, I think, are 18 or 20. What did I pay? $1,800. Yeah. So.
$1,800. Wow, is that cheap, eh?
Yeah. What are you paying for a year, if you don't mind me asking?
Property taxes on the house that I live in are approximately just shy of $20,000.
Guys, pay attention. $20,000 property tax a year Steve pays.
Yep, it's absolutely insane. And everybody laughs, Kevin Thompson, oh, you're renting, you're this and that, so on and so forth. It's actually funny when you can go ahead and rent the property for the amount of your property taxes, plus $1,000 a month, and you're in a fully detached house in prime real estate, and that house in 1 year has come down $800 to $1 million, as per MLS recorded listings and price drops, and houses are still not moving. I would rather pay $100,000 a year and not lose $800 to $1 million.
I see what you're saying. I know. Yeah, you're making perfect sense. But yeah, that's intense, dude. almost shy of $20,000 a year in property tax. That's like $200,000 in 10 years.
Yeah. Mike, it's absolutely absurd. So I don't look at renting as pissing money away in the wind or anything else like that. A penny saved is 2 pennies earned at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And if you can go ahead and you can sell an asset and still live in it and rent it, okay, you have to look at the big picture. And, you know, let's just say for argument's sake, you know, I'm paying $3,200 or, $32,000 a year to rent the property, for example. That's okay when the property has come down in price $800 to $1 million.
Yeah, because you didn't take that out-of-pocket loss for yourself.
That's right, and I wouldn't, you know, I'm not in a negative equity position. My bank's not freaking out because of the property not appraising out or you know, being basically undergone a complete devaluation and a correction. I'm not left holding the bag. I would rather do that any day of this. You know, at the end of the day, everybody needs a place to live. But why would I, like, it's just a no-brainer. It's different if I was living in a condo or something like that, where gains have, you know, have gone up considerably because that's all that people can afford. But the luxury detached market in Toronto, it's taken a bath.
Yeah. It's pretty intense what's happening in Toronto. And I like how when I'm going through trying to find articles on anything, it's almost like they don't even want to tell you what's going on there anymore.
Yeah, they're basically being muted by organized real estate. I'm still to this day convinced that organized real estate, you know, pays these news media outlets to only produce positive stuff with respect to the housing market. I think that their numbers for, you know, that have just recently come out, they're greatly skewed in their favor. And of course they're going to be. Agents actually openly admit that they laugh every time that they, you know, say, oh, you know, interest rates are going up, but property values are sustaining. In actual fact, this segment of the market, the condo and semi-detached market, is up. Therefore, you know, the average sale price is up, and it's like, okay, well, what about the rest of the market? What else is happening?
Yeah.
When you have a diversion with respect to the buyers that are pushed from the detached market into the semi-detached, and then the semi-detached pushed into the condo, and then the condo market basically rubbed out and eliminated in its entirety. No one's talking about that.
Well, everyone, but you know that there's mass exodus of Toronto, mass exodus in Vancouver, mass exodus. The Douglas Todd article I keep bringing up with the amount of Canadians leaving the city of Vancouver. He actually says in the article, he says whites leaving Vancouver in multiple numbers right here. We have a little bit of information here. It's called White People Leaving Vancouver. And he actually calls a spade a spade. Tens of thousands of white Canadians are leaving Vancouver. Right here, whites are leaving Metro Vancouver for regions of BC, particularly to live in the Fraser Valley and Vancouver Island and Okanagan, according to Statistics Canada. 10,000 whites left Metro for parts of in 2016. They're not even showing 2017 or 2018 numbers. How many? Let's say 10,000 a year, 20, and then the next year would be 15, and the next year would be 35,000. You know, this is a lot of people, a lot of tax-paying citizens that are leaving Vancouver and moving into the interior. It's happening in Toronto. It's happening in Sydney. It's happening in Auckland. It's happening in London. It's happening in Los Angeles. California is a huge exodus. In the last 6 years, in the last 6 years, 6 million people have left California, Steve.
That is quite the mass exit.
It is. When I say there's a mass exodus in California, you have no idea. It's phenomenal. You know why there's so many tent cities all over the streets in San Jose and stuff? It's because they're not getting the tax money they used to from the middle class to afford to open shelters for these people.
Wow.
Yeah. So
that's not good. I also wanted to mention that when I went in for the pre-approval, it was a actual scripted right off the computer, and they actually had to tell me this. They are now strongly advising all of their clients prior to going firm. In other words, when you buy a house, you're going to go subject to home inspection, subject to finance, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
They're actually going ahead and basically saying, consult with your realtor and or your lawyer for the purposes of inserting a clause or having a clause that is active and enforceable or irrevocable, whatever you want to call it, on the basis of, in the event that the property does not appraise out by my financial institution's appraiser for the purposes of actual value of the property, we're allowed to terminate. In other words, I'm not removing my conditions. The property is not worth that amount of money that we agreed upon. Therefore, I can't get a mortgage, and I'm not going to get suckered in to holding the bag and trying to muster up 60, 80, 150K.
Okay, so I see what you're saying here. I see what you're saying, Steve. So basically, it's the bank does not want to mortgage a property that's worth less than what the property is valued at, so the builder is under fire right now.
Well, it's not so much the builder, it's even the resale market.
Oh,
right?
yeah, but I'm saying even the builders and even people trying to sell their homes, right? So I see what you're saying. They send out the appraiser. The appraiser says, nope, this house is worth $100,000, not $200,000. And they're like, well, the bank says, well, I'm only lending you $100,000 because that's what the house is worth. I can't give you $200,000.
Yeah, absolutely. Wait a minute. Mike, guess what just happened?
What?
Kevin Thompson actually understood what I just said.
What did he say?
In other words, don't overbid. Oh my God. Hell's gonna freeze over tomorrow, Mike.
Maybe he's not eating his weed cookies tonight.
That is absolutely fantastic. I am actually somewhat impressed.
Yes, we have a moment of silence for Kevin Thompson's response that actually made some sense.
and he's absolutely right. I have to admit, it pains me to admit it. Kevin Thompson is right. In other words, don't overbid. People, don't overbid for property.
No.
If you're going to buy a property, buy it and make sure you buy it under list. Because it's not going to be worth what it's worth today by the end of 2019. It is physically impossible in a rising interest rate environment.
Oh yeah, and job loss environments and sanction environments and rising tax environment.
Yeah, there's all these fundamentals and things that need to come into the equation. But I mean, if your job is secure, great. There are other extenuating circumstances and outside influences that one cannot control. But the biggest one would be rising interest rates. And make no mistake, just because interest rates go up to 3% doesn't mean he's not going to be prepared to do a rate cut. Mm-hmm. But he's not going to cut the rates back to where they are today.
You know, I actually feel sorry for Kevin Thompson because he's saying he took a $100,000 HELOC from his mortgage and lent it out at 15%. I actually feel sorry.
150,000, he said.
Oh, okay. So what's he making? Like $20,000 a year in interest repayments?
In interest. Sorry, say that again, Mike.
In payments, he's making about $20,000 a year, right?
Yeah, I think he lent that money out to somebody.
Mm-hmm. Because if you're making, I mean, a whole year to cover 20 grand, I might as well work at McDonald's. It's gonna take a whole year to make 20 grand. I mean, I you know what I'm saying, right, Steve? It's like
absolutely. And who knows who he's. And I'm not trying to put the guy down.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody makes money in different ways. But my main concern is, for the purposes of this conversation and Kevin Thompson, is he better know who he's lending to, because at the end of the day, he's playing with fire if that guy goes belly up.
Okay, so he's saying he lent it out at 10%.
And what's your heat lockout? Like, what is he paying? And like, he's got to be paying what, 7%?
Maybe 5, 6. I don't know, dude. I'm just saying. Like, I mean, that's so risky. You might as well just keep the 100 grand invested in buy a bridge or something. Because I mean, okay, let me ask you something, Steve. This is a really interesting question. If someone offered you $1 million to invest in Canada, what would you put it in Canada? Where would you put $1 million? Because it's a really good question. I want to know where you would put $1 million right now.
$1 million right now. That's a very good question. Besides underneath my mattress, I'm not too sure. I would probably go ahead and I would probably buy some land in the outskirts, not in the GTA, definitely in the outskirts. And I would probably just sit on it, and I would buy land that could be severed, chopped up and divided, and I wouldn't just do it in one location.
Okay. So you would do that. Yeah, okay. Sounds like a plan. Because if you offered an investor that has $1 million to invest, and in Canada, a lot of them will be really hard pressed where to put the $1 million without taking a loss.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so volatile. So, I mean, at the end of the day, there's no way your heat lock, Kevin Thompson, is at 3.95. I don't know what you're eating or what you're smoking. That's ridiculous. 6% return plus 9% house price gain. Okay, yeah, you're irrelevant right now.
Yeah, I think Kevin's a lost cause.
Yeah, it's just way too risky. I know people that have gotten burned by leveraging their house and giving it to a custom home builder that builds, 1 to 3 houses a year at about 12%. And then they went to go and collect, and next thing you know, they were second in line, and they got nothing because all the trades ended up leaving the property because none of them got paid.
Wow. Yeah, lots of happening in there. Lots of shady business. Whenever there's money, there's always shady business. There's money laundering. There's a lot of people cutting corners. There's a lot of garbage going on, Steve. Once a lot of money starts, once the market starts filling, once the housing market started filling up with money, man, you started seeing lots of loans going, people doing shady loans, banks breaking rules. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's not good. Not good at all. I think people need to really understand what we're about to see and what we're about to, experience. And prices are going to come down. They have to come down. Wages are not rising.
Yeah, and it's not. Yeah, so we're gonna have to the working middle class, the working poor. They're gonna have something's gonna have to give here in Canada, because we're losing too much of our middle class to the stateside. And that's what I was telling Mario DeSettis earlier. I'm going to see if I'm going to give my kids European Union citizenship because I'm from Portugal, and then they can have the European Union in the future, so they don't have to be stuck in Canada. You know what I'm saying? If something happens.
That's a very good plan, because chances are they'll have a better quality of life elsewhere in Canada than in Canada, I should say. Canada is on the rocks right now. Mind you, happen, and I don't believe that will actually come to fruition until interest rates continue to rise at least another 1%.
Interesting. Yeah, no, yeah. They're going to have to go up. Someone says Europe is on the rocks. No, I'll just go to the Azores, man. I'm from the Azores. I'll show you guys where I'm from. The Azores.
Well, that's the whole thing. They can be on the rocks, but at the end of the day, if there's a trend, if you're going to give your kids some of your wealth that you've accumulated with your wife, they'll have a kickstart over there, and things are a lot cheaper.
Mm-hmm. Oh, just move to the Azores, man. That's it. You're done. That's it. That's where I'm from. Look at that. That's it. No questions.
Beautiful over there.
Yeah.
The women are incredible, Mike.
Yep. No questions asked. No debates. Small town living. Live a peaceful life. Die. Get buried. And enjoy. Pass on. Look at the Azores. Yep. Bunch of archipelago islands. There's my island right there. San Miguel. That's where I'm from. And that's... I just... Yeah, I moved back there. That's it. In the middle of nowhere.
Hey, Mike, who's Opa Levadidi or whatever yeah. Who is that guy? Plumber is a broke know-it-all. Interesting.
No, Opa Levidi's been watching me since I pretty much started my channel.
I see. So, I don't know if he's Italian or he's Greek. Maybe he doesn't know who he is. I don't know, but at the end of the day, Mr. Opa there. Yeah, sure. I'll be whatever you want me to be.
Well, everybody needs to get along here because we're all in the same boat. Everybody's on the same. We're all riding the same wave right now, Steve. All of us need to. We're all. Look at this, man. We're all riding the same wave, guys. So we need to get along with each other, especially in the comment section. My channel's not big, and my channel's not big at all. I don't have a lot of subscribers, and I have a small following, and we need to get along with each other because it's not like I have millions of subscribers and nobody knows anybody, and the comments are moving at 1,000,000 miles a second. You know what I'm saying? So I engage with everybody.
I agree. And no, Mr. Opa, I'm not a racist plumber. I hate everybody the same.
Yeah, you hate everybody equally. You know what I'm saying? So, anyways, my son is screaming in the background. I gotta go upstairs and see what the heck is going on, Steve. So.
Not a problem, Mike. I'll let you go. Always a pleasure. So good to be with you, and I'll speak to you real soon. And have a great rest of the week.
Yeah, I'll see you. I'll probably talk to you for Mike in the Night if I'm on Saturday night, okay?
Yeah, absolutely. Looking forward to that. Take care, Mike. Bye for now.
Okay, good night. Okay, people, I'm going to cut it short. Well, it's been 2.5 hours. Trends in the housing market, guys. Don't forget to share my information. Please subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to subscribe to me, please. And thanks for all the donations I've been receiving in my tip jar on PayPal. I woke up this morning. People have been donating to me. It's really nice that people are going out of their way to send a little bit of funds my way. And everybody needs to get along in the comment section, period. Only because everybody needs to get along. So, Opa, guys, everybody calm down, please. I need everybody to calm down. We need to tone it down a bit. Like I said, I don't have a lot of people on this channel, so let's keep it, let's be, brotherhood. Let's be friends, everybody. Work together. Learn from each other. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for joining me. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. And thanks for your donations in the tip jar. It means a lot to me. And please, please be friends with one another. Thank you.